Welcome to this edition of Collier Focus. On today's show, we'll take a look at the Board of County Commissioners meeting. Tourism will get an additional $1 million to help combat a subpar tourist season. And the potential funding options for Jackson Lab remain in the developmental phase. I'm Troy Miller. We'll cover these stories and more next on Collier Focus. Stay tuned.
Whether reporting on the latest news stories or hot issues, taking a look at county government services, or announcing what's happening around the county, this is Collier Focus, bringing government home.
At the recent Board of County Commissioners meeting, Chairman Coyle gave an update on the current status of the proposed Jackson Labs project for Collier County. The chairman made it clear that the county was not going to jump the gun on the financing process.
We don't want to create an agreement with Jackson Labs until we see what the state has signed, because that's going to commit the state to the funding. So when we see what the state is going to sign with Jackson Labs, then we can start deciding what our role is going to be in this process, and what monies we will have to commit, and when we would have to commit them if we were going to participate. And that will determine the source of funding that we use. So that's why we haven't decided on any sources of funding, and no recommendations have been made to you other than to say all of these options are available. And so if we find out that the funding can be met from internal operating funds on a pay-as-you-go basis over a period of years, you won't even need any bonding requirement. If we find out that it requires lump sum payments early on, we'll have to consider a bonding requirement, or private investors who would pay to build the building. And under those circumstances, you would require no bonding, probably. So there are a lot of things that we can't determine until we see that contract and we know what the state is going to commit to, how they're going to commit to paying it out, what our matching requirements are, and over what period of time we would be expected to pay money out. And none of that can be determined by us until we get this process underway. And right now it's stuck up in Tallahassee.
Jackson Lab is a not-for-profit biomedical research firm based in Bar Harbor, Maine. The board approved a $1 million contract to complete the rehabilitation of the potable water distribution system for the Isles of Capri. Water Director Paul Matosh explains why the work is badly needed.
This is actually phase 2 of a large project to replace all of the water mains, all of the underground pipes up to the service connections for the Isles of Capri. The system was getting old. We were starting to have more and more water main failures there. We track that and do system rehabilitation when it's necessary. This was necessary. The system was smaller than the pipe sizes were smaller than they should be. So we're upsizing pipes. That's going to improve the flow to all of the services. People will get better water pressure. Additionally, this is going to make a significant improvement in the firefighting capabilities there on the Isles of Capri.
Work will begin in January and finish in next December. The board approved a recommendation to amend the county ordinance and advertise the amended ordinance at an upcoming meeting to reallocate $1 million in TDC funds from the Beach Park Facilities Fund to the Tourism Promotion Fund for tourism destination marketing. Tourism Director Jack Wirt explains how the money will be spent.
What that does is it helps us increase our base advertising, which would have been $2 million. Now we've got $3 million to market this destination. And it'll really help us intensify our campaign first and second quarter next year in the northern markets in New York and Chicago. We'll also be able to enhance our spring and summer campaign and also put some additional dollars into public relations where we really do need some help. Had it not been for those extra dollars we had this year in PR, our fight on this oil spill really would have been difficult. That's how our message really got delivered to the northern media was through an intense public relations effort.
Wirt went on to say that reservations and group meetings remained down throughout the county as a result of misinformation concerning the Gulf oil spill. The board unanimously approved the renaming of the driver's license facility on Airport Pulling Road in honor of retired Collier County tax collector Guy Carlton. Guy Carlton was elected Collier County tax collector in November of 1980. He also served as chairman of Florida Game and Freshwater Fish Commission Committee and chairman of the Department of Natural Resources Committee.
I've had quite an association with Guy Carlton as long as I've been a commissioner here, and he's very well deserving of this. If you notice, if you remember, he started issuing driver's licenses. He got a clearance through the state, and he also made sure that the people that were getting those driver's licenses were not felons, and they were also registered citizens in the county and the state here, so that they weren't getting invalid driver's license.
Mr. Carlton retired in January of 2009 and was replaced by newly elected Larry Ray. Collier Area Transit will be going through an operational change, and none of the riders should notice a thing. The popular CAT bus system is operated by a private contractor, and that contract was just awarded to Tech Trans Incorporated. Growth Management Administrator Norman Feeder says the change should be transparent.
Basically, the rider themselves should not experience any major change. Most of the employees, other than the top-level management employees, which is what is shifting off, will probably be the same. So they may even see the same drivers, some of the same subcontractors for the transportation disadvantaged services, the paratransit. So there really should be no change at all. Costs the same, the routes, all of the services are staying the same at this time, and of course we'll continue to evaluate opportunities for enhancement of that. But as far as the rider is concerned, nothing has changed by the action today.
Now, if you need more information on the CAT bus system, visit colliergov.net/CAT or call them at 596-7777. Well, it's time for a break. When we come back, the Santa Barbara Boulevard Extension Project has its official opening, and Coastal Zone Management does some reef maintenance. All of that and more when Collier Focus continues.